Hi people, this is the latest advanced compact camera from Canon, the G1X Mark II. They call this compact camera, but in my opinion this is not compact anymore. As you can see in my hand, it is quite big and also it is quite heavy, 550 grams. Main highlight of the G1X is its big sensor. It has dimensions of 18 x 14 mm, what is almost the same as found on micro Four thirds mirrorless cameras. It has an effective 13 megapixels and image quality is, as one might expect, very high, both in daylight and in low light shooting conditions. I got this camera for a review together with an optional extra grip. This is the one over here. It costs extra $30 and it should allow the camera to be more easily to hold. But nevertheless, I don't think this camera handles quite good. As you can see, you hold this camera only by this most right side of the body. So all the weight of the camera, the lens, sensor, LCD, all the electronics is on the left side. For prolonged periods of time I found that this camera feels quite heavy in hand. Also, this neck strap is placed on a relatively bad position, so when you hold it, it always gets in the way. Being an advanced model, this camera has quite a lot of external dials and controls. Around the lens you can see two dials, the outer one and the inner one. The third one is over here, and also these are the control buttons. You can assign a function that you want to this S button and the video shooting button. Function of the dial can be customized depending on the shooting mode that you use. For example, if you shoot in program mode, the outer one can be manual focus, the inner one ISO value, and the back one exposure compensation. If you go to manual, the back one can control aperture, the inner one shutter, and the front one whatever you want. There is quite a lot of options. The problem is, although the outer control ring rotates very smoothly, the inner one has clicks, but the problem is that it is very hard to rotate it. For example, you can rotate the front one only with one finger, but the inner one you cannot. You need two fingers to operate it smoothly. This camera has a built-in pop-up flash. The good thing about it is that you can place it in this position and use it as a rudimentary bounce flash, but I recommend getting an external strong flash unit and using a built-in hot shoe. You may notice there are electrical contacts inside the hot shoe. These are used for an external electronic viewfinder, which is an extra of around $300 US. On the bottom of the camera you can see a battery compartment together with SD memory card. The battery is a lithium unit. You can get around 2 or maybe 250 shots out of a single charge. This is the tripod mount, but the problem with it is that it is placed too near to battery compartment, so when you use the camera on tripod you cannot access memory card or battery. On the left side you can see a button for flash release, speaker, and NFC logo, which is built in this camera. On the right side there are connectors. This camera has micro HDMI on the left, in the middle mini USB, and a 2.5 mm connector for wired remote control. The lens on this camera is a really good one. It has 5x optical zoom and image stabilization. In 35 mm terms, this lens gives you 24 to 120 mm reach. Also, aperture is quite big on this lens, 2.0 on wide angle and 3.9 on maximum telephoto. On the back you can also see a large 3-inch LCD monitor. It has 1 million dots and very good viewing quality. As you can see, viewing angles are excellent. You can see all the way from here. and also from the top. The LCD has touch capability, so you can browse with photos just like on smartphone. Also, it supports multi-touch for zoom. The LCD can be tilted 45 degrees down, 90 up, and it can be set so you can take a selfie. Options on this camera can be controlled using quick menu. It is very easy to use. You just go up and down and rotate the dial to select an option. This is how the main menu looks like. It is the same as found on other Powershot cameras. In my opinion, that is not good because I prefer the menu system on EOS cameras. The problem with this one is that it has a lot of options and you have to scroll a lot to find which one you want to set. And another problem is, for example, if you set an option and then exit menu, find out that you do not like how the camera now looks, and you want to return it how it was before, the menu is now on the first position at the top, so now you have to scroll once again and find where this function was and change it. If you are not familiar with the camera, this will take quite a lot of time. As you can see, right now I cannot find where is here it is, night display. Overall operation speed on this camera is quite good. The camera turns on in around second, maybe second and a half, and also it focuses very fast. Also, having a touch LCD, you can take images just by touching a point on LCD screen. Altogether, this is a high quality camera. Image quality is very high and the camera is packed with features, and I am sure it will sell very good. But the problem is that this is still a compact camera and you can feel that when you use it. It is slower than a DSLR, you cannot change a lens like you would on a mirrorless, and it has a motor-driven zoom lens. I would prefer having a manual one. I can recommend this camera, but there are some shortcomings, and before buying it I think you should read about it in more detail on my blog camerahoarders.com, just to be sure that this is really the camera that you want. There is a lot of other options at this price point, being $800 camera, and I mentioned quite a few of them in my review on my blog and compared all the pros and cons of each of them. Okay, that's it. Please subscribe to my channel and thanks for watching.